Ladies and gentlemen, it's Adrian Zduńczyk, CMT Charter Market Technician. Welcome to today's AMA session with our incredible partners at EstateX, and I'm just joined today with an incredible spirit, with lots of passion, with lots of love to blockchain, with lots of love to decentralization, to the real world assets by the men themselves, by Steve of EstateX and by Bart of EstateX. And welcome to the show, gentlemen. How are you feeling today?
Feeling amazing, phenomenal. Obviously, great to be on this show. We've done it before. You're one of our main investors, advisors, somebody well respected within our community, somebody well respected within our core team as well. So really been looking forward to this and can't wait to get into it. And, we're 4 days away from launch, finally, you know what I mean? After over 4 years of preparation, we're just 4 days away. So myself, but the rest of the team, we're excited. We're tired, you know what I mean? Let's say hardly any sleep. I think we were just saying at the start of this, we're like halfway through a 40 AMA marathon type of thing, but we love it. And we love connecting with great communities like yourself. So we're fired up.
Bart, how about you?
I can't complain. Like Steve said, 4 days out, but really enjoying the journey. It is something, man. Preparing a launch, doing everything, and then combining that with, like Steve said, 40 AMAs in a week. It's crazy. But like we just discussed backstage for a minute, I think we have a lot of momentum at the moment. EstateX is popping up everywhere. We have a lot of big updates to announce as well, right before launch, shortly after launch, and now doing this wonderful AMA with a wonderful investor and backer like yourself. So it's going good. We have the momentum, so I feel blessed and enjoying the journey, man. Enjoying the journey.
Thank you so much. I'm actually blessed to be joined as well by you guys. I mean, I've for a very long time, actually, ever since we met, I've had a lot of admiration for you guys, and what you've built so far is just truly remarkable. You're delivering on your words, which is rare in the space, which is a rare, scarce commodity. And you're actually having a working product, which is an even scarcer commodity as it happens, as it is. Anyways, I mean, gentlemen, there has been so much of the praise already, and that praise doesn't go to me, doesn't belong to me, because maybe it's my hairline, that's misleading everybody. you say there is a lot of admiration to me, but however, that's not about me, right? It's about you, about what you've built, about what you've accomplished, and there's a whole lot of it. So why don't we get a deep dive and knowing of the launch? Me as an investor, me as a partner, me as a friend, me as an admirer and a fan, I think there have been much said already. However, there are still a lot of questions, right? And some people who are just figuring out, okay, what is EstateX? Like, how is it going to work? Like, why is it launching right now? Like, is it the right time, and so on, right? So let's talk about the why now part for a second. And, what makes you think that this is the right time for the EstateX vision to come?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, and a question that's it's been on everyone's lips for at least a year, you know what I mean? And up until this point, it's been a bit of a controversial question as well. I don't know if you guys have saw them, but we'll probably repost it shortly. We had a video with one of our lead investors alongside yourself, Bart, the co-founder of USDT. This was when we was out in Dubai a couple of months ago, and even he was saying that he admires the timing, he admires our persistence, he admires our courage not to get bullied into launch or convinced into doing something that we weren't comfortable with. And I feel like, last year, as Brock said, if we actually launched last year, where RWA wasn't really the narrative, where the world and the legalities and the infrastructure and the administrations wasn't really there backing RWA, where would we be right now? And then obviously, there was a debate whether we should launch, early this year as well. but the markets were looking too tumultuous. And just after we announced our adjusted launch date, the market crashed. It was one of the biggest liquidations, if not the biggest liquidations in February in Bitcoin history. So thank God we didn't launch then. Now, obviously, you know, the Bitcoins way back over 100K. It's like touched an all-time high recently, and hopefully, all going well this week, it's going to continue going in the right direction. We'll see what happens. But the good thing is that crypto is on the up and up. RWA narrative over the last 3 months has just been phenomenal. You see what's happening in Dubai, and all of these businesses that are getting tokenized, and the governments that are getting into it. You see what's happening in America. We know that Europe and UK are going to be following as well. So now is the right time. And then we've also, as you know, Adrian, even in the times of the bear market, even in the times where a launch date has been adjusted, we don't stop. You know what I mean? Like, you know how hardworking we've been. We're always building. So now as well, the platform that we have, even though we have all of the ecosystem, which I'm sure a lot of people are aware of, and obviously we can go into it if we need to, but we have the blockchain, the L1 blockchain, that's in testnet next month, and then in mainnet, literally a month or two after that as well. So launching so close to the blockchain launch is phenomenal. And as Bart said, we have major announcement leading up to launch, on launch, and we have some killer, phenomenal alpha announcements. It's going to be a day after launch, a week after launch as well. That is going to blow people's minds, type of thing. One of them you already know about, who we've got on board and where they can take us. And there's others that you don't even know about, which we'll talk off camera as well. So the point being is that even at launch is only going to be the beginning. We're putting in so much work, launching so much initiatives to keep the chart going in the right direction. So this is why it is the perfect time. The market, the sentiment, the narrative for RWA, and obviously just the position that EstateX is in and our infrastructure. We're ready to go. Let's do this.
To prove so rightly that it's not just the words that Steve has just shared. You know, here's the proof. The proof is in the pudding, and this is the global market overview for the RWAs, right? And if we kind of like zoom in on the actual chart of the total RWA value, right? This is excluding stablecoins, because total stablecoins value alone is close to 240 billion. We're talking about the RWA on-chain growth of right now capitalization of close to 24 billion. Well, when we compared it with the last year, same time last year, right? What's it gonna be? Pretty much is, well, it's 2x growth, right? It's more than 2x growth. It's like it's a solid growth where there's been an overall stagnancy in the market, right? There hasn't been so much of the movement. I mean, there have been many geopolitical and macroeconomic kind of like a latency factors that caused, you know, a lot of headwinds actually to a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses went out of the business, right? A lot of businesses were completely cut off, and we are still kind of like not out of the woods in terms of the macroeconomics. But here we are with EstateX, right? Actually working, actually delivering, and on the full rampage, you know, in terms of how beautifully they're managing the ecosystem, drive the marketing game behind it. It's perfect. It's working. You have incredible backers, and I'm just the least of them. I mean, this is such an incredible lineup that you've built. It's remarkable. So why don't we take a word and then go through the next? Check on the actual. Let me put you back on the camera here. The ecosystem drive, right? Because you have so many things. You've briefly mentioned, Steve, about this, like so many things happening, right? And there's the launch, and there's the LaunchX, there's the prop exchange, and there is the tokenize and the capital X, and we could go on and on and on and on. So how is that going to work? How does that all work together? How does it all synchronize?
Yeah, so I'll give a very quick rundown of what the ecosystem includes and the total EstateX package, and then I'll pass it on to Steve to go a little bit more in depth about the investment platform, and then I can take it over about the L1 blockchain and the technical specs and the unique aspects of it. So first of all, what we're building here is this all-in-one RWA ecosystem, this all-in-one RWA hub for retail investors, institutional investors, but also for new projects, institutions to build, to get white label technology. And basically that makes us that authority in RWA, where if you want anything to do with real world assets, whether you're a project builder, whether you're an institution, or whether you're a retail or institutional investor, we have the tools and we have the solutions for you. And that includes basically within two parts. Where on the one hand, we have the L1 EstateX blockchain with some unique technical aspects, such as regulated tokenization, unique token standards specialized for RWA, double proxy smart contracts, white label technology, the ability to raise funds for new projects and institutions, the legal framework where you can tap into, fast and reliable chain that solves RWA inefficiencies as opposed to, let's say, for example, the Ethereum blockchain. And on the other hand, we have the EstateX investment platform, specialized with all the tools for retail investors and institutional investors, what they need to manage everything around their finances within one app. So investment options within a couple of minutes, exit options, trading marketplaces, paying with your real estate investments via payment cards to make it so liquid that you can do your groceries with it, instant loans for leveraging, etc., etc. So we basically have this all-in-one RWA hub where you can do everything around RWA for anything and anyone that wants to do anything related to RWA investments or crypto. Now let Steve tap into the investment platform and the unique proposition that we have there.
For sure.
If I hadn't been sold until now, I would be sold right now after what you've mentioned, Bart. Steve, go ahead to you.
And even to add to that as well, we have the our platform. This is, from my opinion, my humble opinion, that this is one of the most overlooked and underrated features of RWA. RWA, as everybody knows, stands for real world assets. And as I always use the analogy type of thing, and it's the same thing in, Poland, Warsaw, Birmingham. If you go and stop 100 people in the street right now, and you ask them, are you currently invested in crypto? Just random people of all ages. How many people from your hometown, Adrian, would say, out of 100 at this moment?
Maybe 10, maybe at best.
At best, you know what I mean? And then where I'm from in Birmingham and, in London, it's like you'd be looking to find 2 or 3, you know what I mean? Like the world is still so early for crypto. There's still so much growth, which is phenomenal. You're seeing some great RWA companies emerge. But unfortunately, when it comes to tokenized real estate, we feel like a lot of people haven't really got it right yet, because they're actually expecting mass worldwide adoption, wondering why they haven't got mass worldwide adoption, but they're only really marketing to a small part of the world, which is Web3. It's very easy, as you guys know and we know, to be sucked into this crypto bubble that we think the whole world is Web3 and everyone's caught up, but realistically, they're not. So what we've been doing is we've created a platform that's a seamless transition from Web2 to Web3. So the analogy that I always use is Sharon. She's a 30-year-old single mom. She's from Manchester, England. She knows nothing about crypto. You speak to her about blockchain, she disqualifies herself. But Sharon has an Uber account. Sharon has an Amazon account. Sharon has a need for purchasing real estate. Now with the EstateX platform, the seamless transition, it's kind of like, as we say, the remix between Tinder and Amazon, swiping through the different buildings, clicking, adding to cart, checking out, then boom, you own that piece of real estate within seconds. We're making investing in real estate as simple as online shopping, and that's key. So now Sharon, who's knows nothing to do with crypto, has no interest in blockchain, she's in the comfort of her own home, swiping through in Manchester, downloading the prospectus, buying properties just like she's actually buying on Amazon on online shopping, all in Web3, but she feels like she's in Web2. So now we've actually positioned ourselves for that mass worldwide adoption. And a lot of people aren't seeing that and are expecting everybody in Web2 to just catch up. Like, oh yeah, well, they'll learn, you know what I mean? Crypto's the future, they'll get it. But a lot of Web2 just aren't interested. That's just as simple as that. We spent so much years on the back end of this platform to make it so robust and complicated that on the front end is so simple and the user journey is so familiar that a 6-year-old could use it, or an old age pensioner can use it, or Sharon, the 30-year-old single mom, can use it. And that's one of the big unique selling points as well. We have that seamless transition from Web2 to Web3. And then we also have our rental income. Most of our properties are double passive income, because you've got your capital gains and then you've got your rental income, which is actually going to be paid out daily, not monthly. So imagine kind of like downloading the app, and obviously you would have already KYC'd, you've already put your digital signature on there. So when you actually buy the properties, like a checkbox. Imagine just going and buying properties, and then within 24 hours, you're getting your first airdrop of passive income. You know what I mean? It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We actually even tested the platform. We sold our first property early this year, just to show that we're legally compliant and just to show that the demand is there. And that was a reg D offering. Only 0.5%, if that, of our investor database were qualified for that, for American regulated investors, America accredited investors, sorry. And it sold out in 5 minutes, Adrian. It was like phenomenal. You heard about how fast the sellout was. And that was partnering with like TUI, one of the biggest holiday operators, flight companies in Europe. So yeah, the future is looking phenomenal. So that's the platform. And now I'll quickly go into some of the other quick, unique selling points: EstateX Pay, instant loans, and EstateX University. So EstateX Pay, for those who don't know, imagine having your real estate portfolio attached to a payment card. Now, one of the alphas and the big announcements we're going to be doing sometime after launch is we're going to be announcing a partnership with one of the biggest worldwide payment providers, and there's not many, so you guys can probably have a guess. And that's obviously going to be huge. But imagine having a debit card, and your real estate portfolio is attached to this debit card. Now, you can actually go and pay for your everyday goods and services with your real estate. You can literally tap, swipe, and do your chip and pin. If you went to go get a burger, you went to kind of like get your fuel, your groceries through a DeFi off ramp, and through our liquidity providers, it will take that equivalent in your crypto and will instantly convert it into fiat, and you can pay for your everyday goods and services, like I mentioned before, which is revolutionary. And we're bringing liquidity to an asset class, property, that's never had liquidity before. Taking it back a step, the world at the moment is struggling. The average person is struggling to pay for their groceries in the same quality as what they paid for last year. The rates of inflation are killing people. People are trusting the banks less and less with the interest rates. And we all know how the banks operate. They'll use our money, they'll make millions, and we'll get pennies at the end of the year. And it's just not fair. If you put your money into bank, you're losing money for rates of inflation. But they've got us by the balls, unfortunately, because they have that liquidity. If I said to you, Adrian, go and withdraw 50 euros from your bank now, you could easily go to the ATM. But if I said to you, go and withdraw 50 euros out your home right now, you couldn't. You know what I mean? It's not liquid, and that's the disadvantages of real estate. Yes, it's great because you've got your capital gains, you've got your rental income, but you can't withdraw that money out quickly. You have to go to the bank, you have to sign your life away, you have to do credit searches, go through all of this rigmarole, and it's like, a week, 2 weeks, even months to get your own money out of your own property. But not anymore with EstateX Pay, having all of the positivity and all the liquidity from the banks and all of the positivity from the real estate. So now, why would Sharon want to put her money into the banks, her monthly wages, where she's losing money through rates of inflation? She can actually put her money now into a real estate where it's safe, it's secure, she has full control over it. No one's kind of like doing any crazy interest rates, crazy trading with her money. And now she's actually gaining money through capital gains, gaining money for rental income, but she also has that liquidity where she can go and withdraw money out or pay for everyday goods and services with her real estate. So that's just something that is truly revolutionary and never been done before. Coupled with the instant loans, you're able to loan up to 70 to 80% of your real estate portfolio instantly, more or less. And that's really revolutionary, because the final piece of the puzzle is the EstateX University. We're a company built by the people for the people. And we generally mean that. We do not want to make money of people being in debt. I repeat, we do not want to make money of people being in debt. We want to be educating people with worldwide free financial literacy, so that people understand how multimillionaires move, how that multimillionaires don't go and actually buy new properties with their own money. They go to the bank, they use what's called good debt, and then basically, they'll get that property. The property will give a certain amount of yield and income. That income will pay off the loan. They'll make their profits every month, and they're getting the property as well, type of thing, that asset. And that's more or less for nothing. And that's how the rich can stay rich. And the average Joe has never had access to that until now. But with EstateX Pay, with the instant loan side of things, and with EstateX University, we're going to be empowering you with the education that's been lacking in school systems around the world, to not loan your properties to go and buy a PlayStation or a car, which is a liability, but what is the best property strategy for your net worth and your appetite to actually increase your real estate portfolio. Buy a revenue generating asset, start building that compounding income, start building that worldwide diversified property portfolio using good debt, and actually getting on that path towards generational wealth. We're allowing people to move like multimillionaires move, but on a micro level, because of EstateX, we're allowing anybody to get onto the property market with as little as $100, making investing in real estate simple, affordable for anyone, anywhere. The average 30-year-old at the moment cannot get onto the property market, which is a stat, which is a crazy stat. We're making sure that the playing field is leveled for everybody. So to summarize, we're disrupting the $300 trillion real estate industry. We're disrupting the banking and lending industry. We're also going to be positively disrupting the education industry. And we have everything in place, and we're on this epic journey to make history and to really be able to make a difference. And that's the ecosystem.
That's so well put through, and at the same time, it brings me back to the memories when we sit down on the couch. You remember that like it was
Yes.
yesterday, right? where you introduced this whole vision to me, and I was wowed already back then, and I'm even more wowed right now, and I keep getting
Thank you.
wowed all the time every time we speak. And that financial literacy platform, that EstateX University, at the end of the day, is exactly what people and what I personally kind of like stand for, right? Because the vision of mine, the vision of the Burbness, is that where the financial freedom is accessible to everybody everywhere, right? Regardless where they are from, what race they are, which countries they are. That very often, so often, people are dying in poverty because they don't have an option to get out of this.
Yes.
And that by creating what you've created, basically, it gives them the option, something that they never got before, right? It gives them the option to participate and in gaining the, and
100%.
again, in using the opportunity to gain the financial freedom, which is why it so well resonates, and then which is why I'm so proud to be invested with you, and then I'm friends with you, and for so many other different reasons that probably we're gonna keep off the record as well for the sake of it, though, to keep it professional. On the EstateX.
And just to add to what you're saying as well, like I completely agree. And this is something that just really gets overlooked because the world is in a state of emergency at the moment. There's so much going on, and our attentions are on the horrific things that are happening with the wars and with the other things that are happening. And there's so many ways that we're getting divided as people, and we're forgetting about the core things that's happening right under our nose. And it's the same thing in Poland, in Europe, in UK, in America. Education is more like indoctrination. It conditions us how to be employees. It does not teach us how to be bosses. The amount of kids that leave school without understanding the difference between an asset and a liability is shocking. You know what I mean? And it's just like understanding good credit rating, how to kind of like, balance a checkbook, all of these sort of things is just needed. So when we're planning to do this worldwide free financial literacy this year, it's going to be epic because you've seen the videos of like, us with like Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, award-winning actress Tiffany Haddish, all of them like really gassed about it, wanted to push the education system and what we're going to be doing for communities. It's going to be huge. And because it's free, we're expecting hundreds of thousands, millions of people to be adopting it. And then obviously once they have the education, where they're going to go, fraction ownership through EstateX. So really, really excited about that.
I still have that in front of my eyes, just like as it was yesterday when Snoop Dogg was just pulling up the check and just waving the EstateX right there. I love it so much.
That was a crazy
love
moment.
it so much. Those are good memories, and this is exactly what what brings those memories into an actual realization, substantiation, so to speak. Through the EstateX token, right? For the ESX hashtag ESX, and there can be much said, right? However, it's not just a utility token as it seems, right? That actually creates, there is a combination of this, of how it flows, in terms of the demand pressure, how the demand is being built through the creation of the rental income and so on. So why don't you walk us through a little bit quickly for the viewers and listeners?
Yeah, 100%. And I will also give some background context on the L1 blockchain that's going to testnet next month, the technical specs, and then how ESX is integrated with that, how it profits off of that, and then all the demand driving use cases that we have. So first of all, the ESX blockchain is a very fast, reliable L1 chain purposely built for RWA offerings. It's going to testnet next month. We actually announced the date 2 days ago. It's going to be the 16th of July. So the 16th of July, the blockchain is going to testnet. That are probably end of summer, early fall. We will make sure that the blockchain is ready for mainnet. So basically, a lot of people have been asking us recently, are you just building a blockchain for the sake of building the blockchain? And the answer is no. I mean, we've been developing this for 5 years, and we realized the inefficiencies that are there with certain blockchains to be able to make the right security token sets, to be able to transfer correctly. Let's say for Ethereum, gas fees can be too high. For other blockchains, token standards are not accorded. If you want to do regulated tokenization, all of a sudden it makes it way more difficult, and you can only choose from a couple of chains with other inefficiencies for RWA. So there's not that real blockchain that basically solves all of those inefficiencies. And we have been developing the L1 chain that can do regulated tokenization. And this basically means that we are including a regulated registrar, where we have a partnership with, that can create on the ESX blockchain, as the only blockchain in the world, regulated tokenization sets. And that basically means that the ownership of an asset can actually be stored into a smart contract under the German Electronic Securities Act. And that basically means that the actual ownership is proven to be in a smart contract in a regulated environment. In case anything happens with EstateX, you are still able to go to the financial supervisor or that relevant registrar to show and prove the ownership of the asset under the German Electronic Securities Act. A little bit technical, but it basically comes down to we are able, if you tokenize on the EstateX blockchain, to give out security token sets that actually prove ownership of an asset into a smart contract. Furthermore, we have a lot of technical specs such as ZK KYC, where KYC data can be easily shared with other parties for onboarding. Let's say you work with other regulated parties that need to be shared into KYC data, that all of a sudden works now way more efficient, also GDPR proof. Furthermore, what we have are RWA token standards. We have double proxy smart contracts for payments in, but also for payments out, all done at the same time, specialized for RWA. So those are a couple of the technical specs. But if we look also at the package that we offer for, let's say, institutions that we are onboarding that want to get their assets on chain, that we don't even need to sell ourselves, but with our legal framework, which institutions and other projects can tap into, we can all of a sudden now set up new business models for them, where they can tap into brokers licenses, custodial licenses, registry licenses, to make sure they're completely legally compliant, and they don't have to go through the years of regulatory hassle that we have been through. Furthermore, we are able to raise funds for assets, but also for token sales. So if new projects want to be put in a market, they can tap into our technology, in our white label platforms, in our tech stacks, in the ability to raise funds through our network, so we can get them immediately funds, but also put them into the market via incubation and the regulatory framework. So we basically create this all-in-one package for new builders, institutions, portfolio owners, and all tokenized on the EstateX blockchain. ESX will be the native token of that blockchain. So that means that ESX holders profit obviously with every project that's going to be building on it, every institution that's on board, every asset sold on the EstateX platform. And furthermore, we have built demand-driving use cases around that. Such as the rental income that can be paid out in ESX, stimulating trading volume and liquidity into the token. But furthermore, the most important thing is that we see 20 to 35% of company projected revenue flow back into the ESX token. So that basically means that the better the business does, the longer we have to onboard these projects and to sell real estate, you see that there will be more consistent USD inflow into the token. So that actually means that if you are ESX holders, you will profit off the success of the business, which is rarely seen in the crypto world. But we have actually created, I wouldn't say like a complete bear market proof token, but it's a sort of a hedge against the bear market. And not saying that we will not feel the effect of a bear market. Obviously, let's not be naive. Every token will feel that, but it does create the possibility for a token that actually has a consistent USD inflow, not dependent on market cycles. And the better the business does, the more USD inflow there will be. And with 20 to 35% revenue, that's obviously quite a big number for that. Furthermore, it also facilitates the EstateX Pay system, where Steve explained we make paying with your real estate investments possible. So a lot of use cases for the L1 chain, the 20 to 35% of company revenue, the transaction fees on the platform, rental payouts, and the EstateX Pay system.
And just to add to that as well, like I really want people to understand the importance and the relevance of just the amazing alpha that Bart just dropped there. To really just break it down, 20 to 35% of the revenue flowing back into the ESX token from buybacks is phenomenal, especially when a lot of this revenue is going to be coming from Web 2. And as we said before, we're making that seamless transition from Web 2 to Web 3. So without saying too much, but we have mentioned this before, that we're in talks with sports teams, sports leagues, Adrian, multi-platinum selling music artists that we're in talks with that want to tokenize the next album, so to speak. So it's just phenomenal. And even like fighters, computer data centers, the list goes on. And as we said before, the world isn't, unfortunately, at this moment, completely Web3. So heaven forbid, Bitcoin crashes tomorrow, or the bear market comes, whether it's this year or next year, it's going to happen. And then a lot of crypto people be like, well, see you next cycle, see you in 3 years. But the world is still going to keep turning. People are still going to sports games. Yeah, people are still going to be going to sports games. People are still downloading, streaming their favorite artist music. People are still going to fights. They're using their data on their phone and so on and so forth. So the world is going to be turning. We're going to be turning. The revenue is going to be churning, and that revenue is going to be flowing back into the ESX token, as Bart's saying, so that we have that possibility be positively performing through the bear market. I do believe that this next bear market coming is going to show the true RWA projects from the ones that have just been doing some crypto grabs. So that is just something that is really, really exciting. And, you know, I don't like saying it, but we're not worried about the bear market. Bring it.
Like that. And that, I think, is exactly what, you know, builds so much trust, reliability, and so much vote of the people, you know, to put it where it's due, basically, right? And we're talking about almost close to 320,000 people. One stadium quite often is 20,000 people, right? So we're going way beyond that. We're going like 15 stadiums of people packed all in one, and that's exactly the large community of EstateX. So congratulations to you in the first place of building such a remarkable, beautiful, loving, and very, very positive, open-minded community of great people. So many people here in the comments, each and every single one of you. I see you guys, and you have incredible leaders right in front of you. So that's well deserved. And the question that I have to you on that note is basically, what's your plan, Stephen, Bart, basically to ensure the smooth conversion of each and every single person that looks at EstateX into an actual user?
I think there's a few different ways. We're very big on nurturing our existing audience. Yes, getting in new members is massive, but also nurturing our existing members, educating our existing members. Even like, for example, you know, when we was waiting for the launch to happen, you know, about a year and a half ago, whenever it was, we launched a series of NFTs, and you know, our community members helped birth these NFTs. They voted on the perks, rewards, utilities, the characters, where the countries, where the buildings are from, and all of that. And it's like, imagine Bored Apes with like some funny faces on, and we did so well purely just from the community. And any of these OG, shout out to the EstateX NFT community, but the perks, rewards, and utilities that they have now as NFT holders, it's actually going to help them with, you know, early access to certain properties, VIP to the EstateX launch party that's going to be happening in a couple of months. It's going to be giving them so many different perks, rewards, utilities within the ecosystem, and we want to be rewarding people that have obviously been with us from the start and that obviously has integrated themselves as much as possible into EstateX. And then obviously just with our internal marketing, making sure that we're educating them with the property side of things and actually listening to our community. If you guys come over to our Telegram, I'm EstateX official. We have one of the most passionate, not only do we have the biggest community in tokenization real estate, but we have one of the most passionate communities in RWA, and we're not some of these old stuffy business guys that are just set in their own ways, that have big egos. We actually listen to our community, you know what I mean? And when we have good ideas from our community or from any of our big investors, we take that on board as well. So our community see it just as much as their company as it is our company type of thing. So creating that family atmosphere is really, really great, because then when we actually say, guys, we have this property or this is the situation, everybody's paying attention and everybody's locked in. To kind of put it into perspective, when we closed our public pre-sale rounds and we're about to go into the private round, we gave everybody the option to stake yes or no. And the ones who staked 1 year to 20 years, on average, over 55% of our pre-sale tokens have been staked and locked for an average of 7 years. You know, so the people, they understand who we are, the hard work we put in, the foundations we put in, the roadmap that's going to launch and beyond launch. And they're seeing this as not just great for the short term and the medium term, but also amazing for the long term as well. So when you create that trust, and when you create that transparency and you let the hard work do the talking, it's very, very easy for when you're actually launching something or you go in a certain direction. Everybody's obviously following you because they trust you, and you've obviously, you know, taken them on this journey with you as well. So there's loads of different ways that you can answer that question. You say, oh yeah, we're going to do this marketing trick and this and that, but realistically, the genuine answer is we're just a genuine business, genuine people, genuinely have worked hard, laid these genuine foundations, and built a genuine community that really aligned with our vision. So, you know, everybody is massive on the retail side of things, and they are big on the token, but they also are big on what we're going to be doing for society and how we're leveling that playing field as well. So they're brought in, and we love the community for it. Shout out to the EstateX family and to the early investors like yourself as well. Like, EstateX community, do not let this man fool you with his humbleness. Like, first of all, he's a massive guy within the crypto industry, well respected. There's not many people that you'll speak to, you know, hear about him from a third party, and nobody has any sort of bad word to say about it. Everybody's talking about his vibe, his energy, and how great he is. That's first and foremost. Secondly, like, we appreciate
Don't forget my hairline.
Well, we're going to leave that one. I know it's a sensitive subject, you know what I mean? Like, let's focus on the beard. The beard's popping, you know what I mean? The beard is strong. Um, but yeah, also as well, like, it's just like at this moment, obviously, EstateX is popping, and RWA is a big narrative, and we're one of the most taught projects in RWA, and it's one of the most anticipated launches in the RWA, and we're launching on Wednesday. Yes, that's true, and we appreciate all of the new investors for the EstateX. But we don't forget our original investors. It's very easy to jump on the bandwagon when we're popping like this, but it's who was there at the start when we wasn't popping, who was there at the start when we was just an idea, who was there at the start when we didn't have a platform, who was there at the start we didn't have the blockchain. The list goes on, and there's been a certain amount of people, and this guy was one of our first big main lead investors, you know what I mean? And we take that very, very seriously. So, you know, much love to you, Adrian. You're a real one. You've never switched up on us. You've always supported us. And it's just the beginning, brother. It's literally just beginning. When we launch in 4 days, there's so much coming in the months and the years to come. And it's just a pleasure to have you on this journey with us. So thank you to our amazing community. Thank you to our amazing OG investors like yourself, old, new. We're just very, very grateful, and we take it such a big responsibility. And the final thing that I'll say with this is, it hasn't been easy, guys. It has been absolutely tough. You know what I mean? Like, this has been one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. I know Bart's ever done in his life. But when we have the EstateX community backing us, when we know we have one of the highest staked ICOs and so much belief in us, and we know we have amazing backers like Adrian, like the co-founder of USDT, the CEO of Remax England and Wales, it just really, you guys really motivate us that even in the days where it's tough, it's bigger than us. We have to keep going, and that's what's got us to this level. So just want to take a moment to say thank you.
My man, I mean, I don't deserve even quarter and not even a half of these words that you mentioned, man.
Too humble.
This is such an incredible and remarkable, again, achievement, and the achievement is a mere extension of the people who build it, I'd say, you know. So it actually is a pure embodiment and of the discipline, you know, that Stephen and Bart, everybody have put into lots of tears and works and sleepless nights, and I spoke with Steve. I know how many times, you know, they were literally tearing apart, and all the sleep schedules and so on, jet lagged, you know, from one side of the world to another in just the same day, and then back and forth. You know, it's been wild. I've been a witness to it, so every single word that Steve has just said is true, and I'm here to back and validate this as well. And you know, and what I mean about the validity, and it is proven for discipline. It can only be proven by time, right? Because, well, ultimately it's action over words. You know, so many people, so many projects speak that later on they turn you back, and they turn it back against you, and they stab you in the back, they take your money, they run. That's sadly, you know, most of the cases of dirty players and a lot of bad actors in crypto scene, which is why it's so difficult to beat the stigma, you know, that you mentioned to the Web2 world outside, right? Because they know the crypto for the portray of FTX. They know the crypto through the portray of Dokwan and the Terra, whatever, right? And here we are, you know, grinding, clashing every single day and night, and you guys are the real hero of really hard work, and this is just an embodiment of your hard work that's been present, and that's gonna be substantiated even more so in 4 days. So the last question, gentlemen, that I have for you on behalf of the entire community is, what about the TGE, right? Because at the end of the day, we are looking at the TGE is just 4 days apart. So why should people take care of this?
Yeah, so I'll give you first of all, thank you for the amazing words. I really appreciate that. Because Adrian, it has been an absolute pleasure to work with you. You've always been there. You've always supported where needed. Never something was too big of an ask. So really appreciate that. It's a pleasure working with you. Yeah, so to get into that, so I always use the analogy is like, you know, in the past months, we've been speaking regularly with a lot of exchanges, launch partners, etc., etc. Since we announced the L1 blockchain, always the first question was, why are you guys doing an L1? And then we explain the technical stuff, etc. And then the next question is, but why are you launching on such a low FTV? Because our FTV is only 20.6 million. And go find another L1 chain with the technical specs that we have, with the backers that we have, the utilities that we have, the proof of concept, the biggest community tokenized real estate that has such a low FTV. And it's just not out there. So we got so many questions like, why are you not launching on 100 million FTV? Why not on 150 million FTV? As you see with a lot of these projects. And we always say, like, you know, first of all, we are project built by the people for the people, like Steve said. And that basically means that we want to return the trust that investors have given us, investors like you, but also the community members and every other private investor, community, whatever. So we want to return that trust with a high upside potential, only 20.6 million FTV. And if we say something that this is going to be our FTV, we can't return that and then all of a sudden start an FTV which is 8 times as high, right? That wouldn't be fair to anyone. So we're not going to do that. So we want to give back to our investors through that. So it basically means that with the L1 chain, with the institutions that we are onboarding, with the package that we offer that no other RWA chain has, with the incubation, fundraising, but also the technical specs, with the investment platform, with the backers that we have, like you, like the co-founder of Tether, like the CEO of Remax, England Wales, who's on our board. It basically means that even if you didn't have a chance to get in the pre-sale, if you buy at launch, you will still be early. Like, I mean, 20 to 35% of company revenue flowing back into it. An L1 blockchain with the partners that we are onboarding, even with the 20.6 million FTV, you are still early. So there's enough chance for us to keep building, to keep growing with such a low FTV. So definitely make sure you participate at launch. Because things will be spectacular. We have lots and lots of marketing. Obviously, the Web2 marketing, like Steve said, the updates, the platform, the business pillars rollout. But we also do the crypto marketing, right? The Reddit trending, the DEX tools trending, the everywhere the coin sniping sites. We have more than 100 KOLs. We're gonna announce a couple of tier 1 KOLs. We recently announced Mouse, who is obviously also brings massive eyeballs. We're going to announce a couple of more. So we're doing everything in our power also to be, popping up everywhere. You see
The AMA marathon.
AMA marathon, more than 40 AMAs. You see, all the KOLs posting. You probably have seen us multiple times the past weeks on your timeline, and it will be.
It's really working. It's really working.
It will be even crazier next week. We see so many inflow also into the community. So yeah, it's definitely working. EstateX is everywhere. Lots of communities who we're also working with, wheel groups, etc., high quality groups for long-term holders. So it basically means that if you have a chance to buy at launch, definitely do not miss out because you're still early. We're still in the beginning stages, so to say. Although we already developed for 5 years, putting the real foundations in, launch will be a historic event in EstateX history, and make sure you do not miss it.
And also as well, like all of our pre-sale rounds have sold out within 1 to 3 minutes. There is so much buy pressure left within the community. And obviously being one of the highest staked ICOs, over 55% of our pre-sale tokens have been staked and locked for 7 years. We've really reduced the sell pressure. And as Bart mentioned, with all of the big marketing and hype that we're doing, we're massively increasing the buy pressure as well. So obviously getting there as quickly as you can. If it's something that it definitely interests you, do not hesitate. But also as well, you have massive benefits of staking as well. So Bart, I don't know if you want to just quickly end by going into the amazing staking rewards that we're going to be offering people at launch as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because Adrian, I don't know if you know this, but we're actually building something quite unique, something quite revolutionary. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of alpha also for your community. But we're building this revolutionary AI agent that does buying and selling and portfolio management of properties for you. Basically, sort of replacing property brokers, portfolio managers, etc. And I'll give you a practical example. There is an AI agent that has sold over $100 million in properties already. There are only a couple of AI agents. One of them sold $100 million of properties. And the only thing it does, and this is not a lie, the only thing it does is basically sourcing properties based on data. It's the only thing it does, and it's popping off like crazy, which is a very good initiative. But we saw that and we think like we can improve this, we can make this way better, we can turn this into something that cannot be erased from the market anymore and really replaces something that is currently a little bit outdated, you could say, inefficient. So we are building an AI agent on the ESX blockchain. It will launch when the ESX blockchain goes to mainnet, but we're building it on the ESX blockchain. And this AI agent does not only do buying and selling, sourcing of properties. It sources for you, it buys for you, it sells at the right time. We are feeding it with lots and lots of data. It manages your portfolio. So it basically is an AI agent that does everything for you around properties. And
Sign
the
me up.
beautiful, yeah,
Sign me up for it.
and the beautiful thing about it is I'm going to make it even crazier. The beautiful thing about it is that we feed it with so much data based on past performance, future performance, evaluations. What do similar properties do? What are going to be the developments in the area, future projections, etc., etc. And it basically means that it will do sourcing for you. It makes sure it puts the right offer in. It will assist with negotiations, saying like, okay, do not go under this price because then it's not worth the upside potential, or make sure you bid at this, or if you bid this, you have a bargain deal. It does the portfolio management. On the EstateX platform, it makes sure that it sells at the right time for you, getting the right profit. So it theoretically also creates a possibility for sort of like day trading of tokens, where it can trade with other investors, and you can buy today and sell tomorrow your property tokens with profit, yes or no, or monthly trading or semi-annually trading, etc., etc. And it's going to be great. And this AI agent, we are actually launching also an AI token with this. It's called AI ESX, and this token is going to be used for using the AI agent, making it more efficient. For gas fees, it will unlock tiers for what you can use with the AI agent, yes or no. And we are not going to do any pre-sales of that. No pre-sales. It will only be obtained, and it's going to be launching, by the way, on a less than 100K market cap. So lots of upside potentials as well. And the only way to obtain this AI ESX token for this revolutionary AI agent is by staking ESX. So if you stake ESX and lock your tokens, reducing the circulating supply and the sell pressure for ESX, that's the only way you can obtain this AI token, which is going to be revolutionary and what we're building. So yeah, very exciting.
Let them know it's going to be launching on the blockchain, right?
Yeah. No, that's why I said it's going to be launching on the ESX blockchain. It's going to be built on the ESX blockchain, one of our flagships project with lots of potential, lots of upside potential. And it's going to be probably also the first of many AI agents that we want to do in the property or asset sector. But yeah, very promising here. And the only way you can, I'll repeat it once again, the only way you can obtain it at a sub 100K market cap is by staking ESX.
100%. So just to summarize as well, if you stake ESX at launch, you'll get the access to the AI token, which is only getting launched on the blockchain in a couple of months from now. So you'll have exclusive access to that. As Bart mentioned, extremely low FTV market cap. You'll also get a free season 2 EstateX NFT collection as well. So obviously mentioned that season 1 was like a massive hit, sold out, and the perk reward and utilities that now allows those NFT holders to be a part of the evolution of the platforms and what we're doing, and the perk reward utilities. There's some amazing things with season 2 as well. So you'll get the AI airdrop, you'll get the season 2 NFT, as well as your normal perks and rewards and things that you're going to be getting for staking ESX and the monthly and yearly APIs as well. So it really is a no-brainer, especially people that understand that after launch we're doing testnet. After a couple of months after that, we do mainnet. So you guys can obviously work out for yourselves. We're launching at a certain level, and the blockchain's coming out a couple of months later. You can understand what that growth potential is as well. So it really makes sense to be able to stake, and we're giving people some amazing rewards and making it no-brainer to stake as well. So we'll be releasing more about that tomorrow and Monday. And obviously, the staking platform will be ready just before launch as well. So really exciting times. Launches on June the 18th, this Wednesday. And any questions that you guys have, please just head over to our Telegram. Join the EstateX family, no matter how big or small the question is. You'll always feel welcomed. We've got an amazing community, amazing moderators. Bart is one of the most active founders I've ever seen in crypto in the Telegram as well, so you can interact with Bart quite easily. And do your research and join the revolution, join us on this epic journey. And it really, truly is history in the making. 4.5 years, now only 4 days left. Let's do this.
Love it so much. And with all that AI agent, someone wrote in the chat, Adrian just so heaven. I could tell by his face. Well, it's not far from off. It's not far off from truth. That's pretty crazy. And all I can say is just that this is very well thought through. Congratulations. And I couldn't go on just and not notice Kelly, our man, from who just said EstateX. I just interviewed him on the Mario Naval channel this week. Great team, great project. I fully agree, and good to see you, Kelly, my man. It's such a good man. Kelly, such a good, active, proactive man with great 100%. Vibe. Great entourage. Shout out to you, Kelly, my man. You're an absolute legend yourself, gentlemen. So
great
Oh,
host.
he's
as
a
well.
great host.
Yeah,
I know that. I know that
Yeah.
for myself. Of course,
Yeah.
of course, many times. I admire him as a host as well. So shout out to Kelly. Make sure everybody that you also have him on the list if you're watching and listening to this. And there's quite a lot of people watching. Regardless, gentlemen, because we are slowly running out of time. I know that you are busy, and you said 40 AMAs. So if we're gonna keep going, you're gonna miss probably another 20. Is just 1 hour. So the final question from me to you is where all the viewers and listeners can rush to check all the details for the launch, where can they participate, and well, how to make the best out of this launch of the ESX token for them.
Yeah, so as mentioned, first and foremost, go to our Telegram, look at the pinned messages. That's EstateX Official on Telegram, EstateX Official. Look at the pinned messages, join our announcement channel as well, and you'll be able to kind of see what's been happening over the last couple of months and so on and so forth. And you can go back as far as 4 years. Go to the Twitter, what Adrian's put on the screen now as well, EstateX EU. And obviously here is the Telegram channel as well. And we get 1,000 to 2,000 messages per day. It's a very, very active, amazing, genuine community. So much love for the EstateX family. Shout out to you guys. Go to our website, www.estatex.eu. That's estatex.eu. You can download the pitch deck, do your own research, see the platform videos, learn about the different parts of the ecosystem, and then also sign up to the waitlist as well. Sign up to our email VIP list as well, because we give regular alpha each week by emails. And then obviously, if you're in those 3 main areas, the email list, the waitlist, as you can see there. So the waitlist, the Twitter, and the Telegram, I'd say, are the 3 main areas. And then you'll have all of the announcements in the next couple of days. Early, next week, you will be having all of the launch announcements and the exact time, where it's going to be, and answering all the questions on that as well. So it's really, really exciting times. And as you mentioned before, it's just the beginning. When we launch, even though we're going to be having an absolute epic launch, the things that we're going to be announcing days after launch, weeks after launch, and then the blockchain is going to be coming, and then all these other things that's going to be happening, it's obviously just all going to be going in an amazing direction as well. So get in, tell your friends, tell your families, tell your sister-in-laws, baby cousin Tracy. It's all about EstateX. It's going down, and miss this. Please do not miss this. If it's something that you're actually interested in, then please make sure that you're a part of history, because it's only the beginning. And when you have 25 to 35% of the Web2 revenue flowing back into the token, which is going to start in a couple of months after launch, you can see the innovations of what's going to be happening. And we really are following the real world trend, and EstateX is bringing the real world into RWA, and that is the future, and that's what we're doing, and we'd love for you guys to be part of it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, gentlemen, your time generosity, because there's so much work, just like you put in out there. So I do highly encourage everybody to go ahead and, well, at least you can do is press the follow button on the EstateX channel. You might want to be, all right, so this is 500 more people ever since we started the show. So that's quite a good pace, and I encourage you to join on the pace as well, and join on the race, and just maybe one of you is going to be the exact equal 328,000th member of the community on Twitter. So I think it's worth fighting for. We all love round numbers, especially if the numbers go up. And well, that seems to be the case. Everybody, what to expect at such a low valuation launch in just 4 days for the EstateX. And I'm invested. I've been watching the gentleman build for a long time. I've seen and I've witnessed, and I've been to a lot of meetings on the updates. And all I can say, each and every single word that these gentlemen had just said is true. And I encourage you guys to go ahead and check it out. Follow them. They deserve all the glory. This is the embodiment of trustworthiness in crypto, in my eyes. And you have my full support, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming over to the show. I'm looking forward for so many different reasons to the launch. And well, God be with you, everybody. God bless you.